Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Tammy Bednar from Oracle. I'm a product manager. And with me today is Mahir Patel, VP of Multi-Cloud and Data Solutions from Apps Associates. Hey, Mahir.
Hey, Tammy.
Hey, thanks for joining. So, in case you guys didn't know, this is our deep dive number five joint session on Run Oracle Your Way on Oracle AI Database at Azure. And today we have our special speaker, Mihir. He's gonna talk about modernizing Oracle E-Business Suite on Oracle AI databases at Azure. ERP without the trade-offs. So let's get started because there's a lot of great information. I just like to kick us off and say welcome to our webcast series. Each session, we have 30 minutes of focused technical discussion on a single topic, insights from Oracle and Microsoft product managers. We're going to try to give you some real architectural patterns and operational best practices. And please ask your questions as we go through the presentation so we can get that answer back to you. Okay, our agenda today, I'm going to go quickly over our Oracle AI Database at Azure services, and then Mahir's going to take over and talk about EBS architecture and Ask EBS, in case you've never heard of that. And at the very end, we have links and resources. This is being recorded, and I will post the PDF and the recording within the next 24 hours. Okay, so these are, and this is a great slide on database services and Oracle AI Database at Azure. We give you a lot of flexible offerings so you can meet your business requirements that you need. So starting over to the left, we have Autonomous AI Database. It's a fully managed cloud-native Oracle database service. Runs on top of Exadata with complete automation and lowest total cost of ownership. We have autonomous AI serverless and dedicated available for you to choose. Next, we have Exadata Database Service. It's a co-managed Oracle database service on Exadata platform as well. It also has cloud automation, but this one you get full administrative control. So a little bit more if you want more control, you got it. With the Exadata Database Service family, we offer dedicated service as well as exascale infrastructure, which is a shared service, and you provision at the VM cluster level. Finally, we have our base database service. It's a co-managed Oracle database service on standard infrastructure with cloud automation and full administrative control. So again, if you're looking for a shared VM service, base database can help you very easily lift and shift those applications or those databases and applications from on-premise into the cloud. It's a good foray or first jump into the cloud. For backup recovery, we have autonomous recovery service, fully managed zero data loss recovery using real-time transaction protection, incremental forever, so it's a very efficient backup and continuous recovery validation. And finally, if you were looking for some replication capabilities, we have OCI Golden Gate, fully managed replication service to enable real-time analytics while keeping data highly available. So a lot of flexible offerings for you to run your businesses in the cloud, Oracle AI database at Azure. So what's new since last month? We've added some additional regions with our Oracle-based database service. So you might have been waiting for these regions: US West 2, Canada East, Switzerland North, and Central India. So I'll always try to bring you the latest every month. So tune in so you can hear that as well. All right, so now we've gone on to, we've covered the beginning. So now up to the real meat of our presentation, modernizing Oracle E-Business Suite on Oracle AI Database at Azure. So Mihir, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Thank you, Tammy. That was a great overview on Oracle AI Database at Azure for us. Thank you. So again, my name is Mahir Patel. I'm with Apps Associates and a VP of multi-cloud and analytics here at Apps. So we work with a lot of Oracle customers, e-business suite customers. I'll speak to specifically today, right? That they want their businesses are being challenged, their teams and whatnot are being challenged with AI, right? Like, how do we take advantage of AI with e-business suites? Why do we need to do it, right? So, on-premise applications computing is posing some challenges in terms of enabling that capability with e-business suite and things like that. So the customers are wanting generative AI capabilities in the cloud, their security, is getting, threats and things like that are increasing day to day. Mythos is coming, right? How do we mitigate against all these business threats that are security concerns that are coming to us at the same time of enabling our AI initiatives and whatnot that the board and the leadership's asking us for, right? So Oracle AI Database at Azure is a method by which customers are going to address these challenges. We have quite a few customers that have already taken this path, and I'm going to walk you through that for eBusiness Suite and then how to take advantage of AI capabilities today using Oracle eBusiness Suite. Next slide, please. So, the autonomous AI database at Azure, as Tammy mentioned, right there, you not only get the VM databases and those, but we also get autonomous AI database there. It gives us the AI native capabilities. It allows us to, consolidate our database infrastructure into a standard, more cohesive architecture to streamline security, streamline management, scalability, any metric we want to look at. The Oracle AI database at Azure allows us to do that from a self-managing perspective with the autonomous database, as well as even if we want to manage some of these databases ourselves, like eBusiness Suite, things like that, right? So why are customers doing this? They're doing this to get operational reduction in overhead by up to 80%. So these are actual numbers that we've seen with customers migrating Oracle eBusiness Suite to AI database at Azure, right? And then complementing that after that journey is done with the autonomous AI database specifically, and then we'll jump into Oracle eBusiness Suite. So these are the things that we can hope to achieve as a result of migrating this eBusiness Suite ecosystem that we've had for many years and getting new AI capabilities enabled into it. So next slide. So I know this architecture, there's a link to it. It's on the oracle.com website that I've written. This is a reference architecture. So this is not a paper architecture. This is an actual customer type of an example, right? That we've done. So you'll notice on the bottom right-hand corner over there that where we have the Oracle AI Database at Azure configured, it fits right into the Azure ecosystem. It's native, right? The Exadata sit within the Azure regions that Tammy highlighted for us, right? These machines physically sit there, so there's no latency, anything like that. We simply provision the Oracle AI database at Azure into our subscription. We've elected to put it into its own subscription. It allows us to manage all of our costs and things like that into that new subscription. We've enabled VNet peering, etc. So, if we've already migrated eBusiness Suite to Azure and we're running on an Azure VM computes for the database and the apps are in Azure VM computes, no problem. All we do is move the database into the Oracle AI database at Azure, and the applications architecture and infrastructure can remain where it is. So we have customers that have done that. We've had other customers that moved their entire Exadata on-prem into eBusiness Suite that was running on on-prem Exadata into Oracle AI database at Azure. Very simple. We enable the AI database at Azure service into our new subscription. We go to the Oracle Marketplace, accept it, and then we configure it. And the UI and GUI and everything that the team is going to use is going to be in Azure. All of our applications tiers will go into a separate subscription when we leverage the different VNet pairing. In this architecture, we've also elected to use Azure NetApp files for our application servers for eBusiness Suite to allow for a shared Appletop configuration, etc. So we can take the entire architecture that we had on-prem, regardless of what platform we're coming on off of on-prem, into Azure and get all the great capabilities of the Oracle AI database at Azure in Azure. And we get to use all the native Azure capabilities and services and security and all the beautiful things that Azure brings to us native. And now we have the power of Oracle AI database at Azure to complement those things. All right. Next slide. So how do we migrate these enterprise workloads, eBusiness Suite, into Azure for us, right? So our methodology and what we've used for numerous customers to ensure success is we assess what we have today, whether it's on-prem, already in Azure, maybe another hyperscaler, it doesn't matter. Let's evaluate what our source databases, e-business suite ecosystem is, right? Um, then we mobilize, we prepare the target architecture and design, make sure the subscriptions, the VNet pairing, what are, security rules, et cetera, all of those things going to be. And then we lay down that foundation and then we migrate, physical or logical migration, depending on, what our needs are, what our downtime requirements are, et cetera. Then we validate against our, the Oracle maximum availability architecture best practices, right? Gold, silver, bronze architectures everybody's probably familiar with. And then we design it to minimize the downtime. We can get it almost down to zero, depending on how we're architecting these things, right? We can even automate a lot of this through orchestration. We can support both physical and logical migration, zero down, everything we're going to design. So you're not going to give up anything. In essence, most customers are getting an advantage to doing this, and they're increasing their not only their security posture, but also the uh, resiliency, high availability architecture within the Oracle AI database at Azure. Now, they're doing this not only for eBusiness Suite, they're looking at this from a Oracle database fleet consolidation perspective, right? So they're taking all the Oracle databases that they have, they're using this awesome new service to be able to consolidate all that. So the way we do that is we assess everything you have, whatever that workload is, whether it's just eBusiness Suite or the entire Oracle database ecosystem that you have. We ensure that the architecture for Azure is going to be uh, solutioned from a security, design, resiliency, HA, et cetera perspective. We design all of that. We'll migrate it based on wave planning and ensure that it meets the MAA architecture that you guys need to support your business. Next slide. So great. We've chosen to migrate to Oracle AI Database at Azure. What kind of benefits are we going to achieve with our e-business suite? So here's a real customer example, right? It was a complex ERP system. It wasn't just e-business suite. It was the entire Oracle e-business suite ecosystem. A lot of times, e-business suite comes with, our reporting capabilities, whether that's Oracle Analytics Cloud, Oracle OBIE, whatever you want to call it, right? Other tools and things like that from eBusiness Suite, the entire ecosystem can get migrated. So with this customer, we were able to migrate their eBusiness Suite along with that entire ecosystem within 7 months. So they were coming off of an Exadata. They moved to an Exadata in Oracle AI database at Azure, and they saw a 30% improvement in performance, zero downtime, zero issues, et cetera. As far as the business was concerned, they're like, oh, we just did a maintenance this weekend. Great. What'd y'all change, right? So the end users in the business didn't even realize that something had changed because it's the same platform architecture that they were used to on-prem. It was now 100% running in Azure, and they saw 30% uplift in performance simply by moving to Oracle AI Database at Azure. We were able to increase their uptime, what I consider giving the customer golden time, right? So if you look at our CFO or accounting teams, et cetera, if I can give them a 30% improvement in performance, that means our jobs are running faster. That allows them better resiliency to get the numbers, like if we're a publicly traded company, to be able to get those numbers reported, analyzed, right? I'm giving them time between close to reporting to the SEC, et cetera. We're giving the business time to analyze the numbers that the ERP system is generating for consolidation reporting and all the SEC filings that we have to do. So if I'm giving them 30% more time to be able to analyze that, it allows us to craft the message and things like that. So that I refer to that 30% performance lift as a phenomenal thing that the CFO and the business are going to be able to achieve. And all we did was simply leverage the capabilities of Oracle AI Database at Azure. So this customer is able to do that, increasing their financial uptime and whatnot. They saved hundreds of $1,000s of expenditure instead of buying physical Exadata hardware and capacity. And typically what we do is we'll buy additional storage cells, additional compute, et cetera. We don't need to do that. With the eCPUs, we can scale them up, down with the VM databases that Tammy spoke about. We can configure this to our business needs, right? So we're able to elastically scale our application services. right? So no more pre-provisioning hardware, and we're able to improve our monthly and quarterly financial closes faster. So from a security perspective, we were able to increase the security posture of the system from being on-prem into Azure with all the security capabilities that Azure affords us, and we're able to increase that tremendously, increasing that security, and threat protection and everything, giving the business better platform overall from a not only cost and operational efficiency, but also from a security and agility perspective. So, there were zero issues with them. This is not me. This is the customer's quote, right? Enabling that finance and engineering teams to innovate faster and deliver new features and capabilities, all with the e-business suite platform that they've had. Next slide. So EBS has all the data. The problem has been trying to get to it efficiently. Uh, Today's reality is, let's just say we don't do anything, we leave it where it is, right? The business users can't really self-service that e-business suite data. We need SQL skills, BI tools that have been somewhat complex, et cetera, to get to the data. We have a tremendous amount of data stored in our Oracle ERP systems. How do we get access to it? How do we give the business and the end users access to that, right? That's a key challenge. IT typically been the only path to getting answers to those. We have to build them reports. We've given them all these various different reporting tools that the businesses had to learn, and they still require technical knowledge, right? To some degree, right? And then the decisions lag behind the data, right? The time to report arrives, right? We might have created operational data stores, a data warehouse. We're replicating data out of a business suite, move it into a data warehouse, et cetera. So all of that takes time, right? And it leads to delays in getting access and decisions from the data, right? Because we don't, as infrastructure, DBAs, and things like that. No, we don't want everybody hitting our e-business suite system because it's used for transactional reporting, things like that, right? So how do I get ROI, out of this system? It's typically been, you know, transactional values sits locked in e-business suite while our organization wants to invest in other tools while the data is continually growing. How do I get access to that? Well, Ask eBusiness Suite, Ask EBS changes this. Anyone in the business can ask a simple question using natural language query capability, English, right? English is the new coding language. And now we're able to basically give the power to our end users, our business, that literally just ask a question. What do you want to know? So they'll get the answers back in seconds, not weeks, because I don't have to go through the whole, okay, what are your business requirements? Give me a business requirements doc. I'll map that to a code spec. I'll build a report or build the analytics dashboard. None of that uh, backlog inside. We're giving the power to the end users right away. And performance-wise, we're not taking a hit because we're running on Oracle AI Database at Azure. No new tools, no new training. Give them access to the Apex front end. They'll query it and they'll get access to it. And then we can increase because now we're running on Oracle AI Database at Azure. Security is not an issue because the entire data model and everything is secure from a holistic perspective, from external threats. And then with the capabilities of Ask EBS that I'll talk to you guys in a bit, we can even extend our security model in from an application data access. So even AI's access to certain data adheres to the role-based access control, if you will, in terms of what and who can see what kind of data based on the queries that they're asking. And all of these capabilities, vector, RAG, et cetera, there's a whole conversation on 26AI and the benefits of Oracle AI database that we can go into, but all these, the power of the engine of Oracle AI database is leveraged to support all of the security improvements, right? And then so our users are able to, and you as a business are able to get a better ROI out of your existing e-business suite data uh, simply by leveraging the new capabilities of AI database at Azure and complementing that with Ask EBS. All right. So next slide, please. So, what is Ask EBS, right? It's a natural language query for Oracle E-Business Suite. What does it do? It basically allows our end users to, in plain English, no SQL needed, ask a business question. Which POs are pending approval over 50K? Show overdue invoices by supplier this quarter. Simple, easy to ask questions that we can ask secured properly so that the right users can get access to the data that they need, right? So it's built on Select AI, right? So there's some LLM translation that is needed. It goes to NLS question engine, validated SQL. The SQL hits back against the eBusiness Suite database, which is now running on Oracle AI database at Azure. And then basically there's an Apex UI embedded into the framework. So it's free. I mean, Apex is included. I shouldn't use the word free, but it's included with our licensing for Oracle databases. So no additional licenses needed for that, if you will. So, there's pre-built domains and AI profiles out of the box. Hey, Kevin, I noticed you have a question. I'll address it. Let me finish this and I'll address your question. Okay. Um, how it works is a simple four-step process flow. The user asks a question in Apex AI user interface. There's an AI database selects an AI profile, sends it to the LLM. This portion happens in autonomous database portion. And then we pick the LLM model that we want, and I'll go into that a little bit in the next slides. The Azure OpenAI returns a validated SQL, so it's no EBS data at this point. The Apex executes the SQL, it validates that it's the right structure and everything, and then executes that data, the SQL against the eBusiness Suite data. So the data never leaves eBusiness Suite. It only views the metadata and shared through the LLM. So zero customer data exposure because we can still secure all of that within the eBusiness Suite. So whenever the data is sitting in our eBusiness Suite database, and that database is running on Oracle AI Database at Azure, the Exadata, if you will, within Azure. So the performance and stuff is phenomenal. So what is Ask EBS? In a nutshell, it allows end users to ask eBusiness Suite, interact with the data in eBusiness Suite using English. Uh, Supported platform is basically eBusiness Suite 12.2 and above. It uses the Oracle OCI Generative AI service, plain English, natural language query for end users. You can run it on-prem, performance-wise, depending on the architecture and stuff. Definitely runs better on Exadata with like Oracle AI Database at Azure because it is leveraging the autonomous database that's sitting right next to the Oracle eBusiness Suite database and a VM database on Exadata. And our data source is the live EBS real-time data, and then it's fully supported by Oracle. So business benefits of Ask EBS, right? Instant answers, not days, it's seconds, right? So no SQL. We've talked about that. The business can literally interact with the data in eBusiness Suite in an English format. Reduced IT costs because the lower reduces IT overhead in terms of building business requirements, querying, et cetera, writing those reports and dashboards and things like that, right? Security and governance, extremely important, right? It inherits the EBS role-based access control. All queries run within the EBS security constructs that we already have. So users only see the data they are authorized to access, no data sprawl or spreadsheet risk, right? So a lot of times we'll write a report, we'll put it into a spreadsheet or another format, PDF, whatever, using BI Publisher. And now I don't know if it goes on to SharePoint side or something. And now I don't know if that data is supposed to be there, right? So now I'm able to address that from a security and access perspective, not only from a data being located in an unauthorized space, but even mitigating it from external threats, et cetera. So it allows for better decisions, faster, real-time insights, and then no integration. It's all native. I don't have to build all these ETL tools and all these other move the data and data warehousing and all of these other things. I'm able to unleash the power of our data in eBusiness Suite, all running on Oracle AI Database at Azure. Next slide. So real easy architecture. eBusiness Suite users ask the question in plain English using the Apex AI front end. The UI is embedded into the Oracle eBusiness Suite. It uses OCI generative AI capabilities, and then eBusiness Suite database executes that SQL against live EBS schema. So the LLM feeds the query back, goes to the autonomous AI database. It validates that the query is good. eBusiness Suite executes it, and the results are returned. Simple English, simple process, things like that that allows them the data to get again fully secured in the Azure architecture that we talked about with the EBS role-based access control. Next slide. So how long does this take to set up? Well, if our Oracle eBusiness Suite is on, let's say, Oracle AI Database at Azure, here's a real example of a customer. It took 1 week to assess what do we want to ask eBusiness Suite to do for us from a natural language perspective, validating the versions, confirming the tenancy setups on OCI Gen connectivity, 2 weeks to kind of configure it, a week to enable, right? So Ask EBS within the forms and configure user access and role-based alignment, right? Building an initial query library for business systems. What kind of questions does the business want to ask against the EBS data, right? Testing and validation, right? To make sure that the natural language query is accurate and it's returning the right information. So just validating that that's all working. For the most part, it works out of the box. We found some LLMs that work better than others, and we'll talk about that in the next slide. And then, some go live in hypercare for a couple of weeks. So not a lot of time to get the initial platform with Ask EBS up and running on Oracle AI Database at Azure. Next slide. So key technical challenges to expect, right? DB link between the AI database and eBusiness Suite database. The VNet peering must be configured properly, right? So the TNS and wallet setups across the two databases is good. Private endpoints in Azure, EBS patch level requirements. So obviously our eBusiness Suite has to be at certain patch levels to support this Ask EBS capability. And then the AI accuracy and operational tuning, right? So making sure that the LLM's not hallucinating and giving back inaccurate information. There's obviously token limits with any AI solution, tokenization, token economics, if you will, are going to become an element of that. We need to make sure that we right-sized for that. And then VPD and security handler performance, not an issue. Profile optimization, we want to make sure that we're offloading it to the Oracle AI Database at Azure to mitigate any of the overhead associated with this. This is why the Oracle AI Database at Azure and eBusiness Suite sitting on that is a great solution to not worry about performance and things like that we would if we're not running on that type of a platform. And then custom EBS extensions are not covered, right? So out of the box profiles and stuff cover the standard EBS modules, but not custom schemas and anything that's in our custom top, if you will. Next slide. So real world implementation lessons from the field, right? So software stack patch complexity, right? So there's 12 patches that we need. We need to patch and get EBS ready. It has to be on 12.2. You can't run it on 12.1.3, etc. Preferred LLMs, right? May not be available in all target regions, right? So we have the Oracle DB at Azure. If we haven't migrated our eBusiness Suite into that, we want to make sure that we've selected the right regions and if we are going to evolve into Ask EBS, we want to make sure that that's good. Multi-level component versions, right? The exact versions have to be good for all of this stuff to align, the Apex versions, the ORDS version, the Java versions, etc. So we want to make sure that all of that is aligned so that it works and, not having the proper grants installed and configured, etc. SSL wallet, database object errors, things like that we've invalid objects, right? Things like that would hinder the right data being returned to the user when they ask the question in a natural language format. Next question. All right, next slide. All right, so what can we achieve in the end? So let's say we move our eBusiness Suite to Oracle AI Database at Azure. Right, commercially, we're going to get everything in an Azure consumption billing model. EBS costs align with the actual usage, eliminate on-prem hardware refresh cycles, right? So let's say we're on X11s in Oracle AI Database at Azure, and X12 comes out next year when Oracle releases it or whenever the new hardware. It's easy. We just move the database over and it simplifies everything. We've done that with customers that were early adopters on Oracle AI Database at Azure. They went on X9 series and then the X11s came out. We've already done that. And it was super easy versus having to, think about buying physical hardware and moving it. So commercially, it's a great solution. Technically, it scales, it's resilient, It unlocks the full power of AI that we've all been waiting for against e-business suite. It's performant because it's an Exadata engineered systems sitting physically in the Azure data centers and regions. We can execute the zero downtime migrations, move e-business suite over into this Oracle AI database at Azure, and we can simplify our operations and get the power of AI to the end users without having to re-implement anything and getting the users access to the data. We're simply moving it from wherever it is into this Oracle AI database at Azure solution, simplifying our security, simplifying our performance, and allowing for revenue growth and unlocking and enabling innovation and value for the business simply by moving eBusiness Suite from where it is into Oracle AI Database at Azure and taking advantage of all the awesome capabilities of the AI database from Oracle. Questions?
Let's go over the summary of that. That was a great content, Amir. So, summary, modernize Oracle EBS on Oracle AI Database to eliminate the traditional trade-offs between performance, resilience, security, just what you just talked about. Also, the AI native capabilities such as Ask EBS, Select AI, Azure, OpenAI, and MCP unlock real-time business insight from existing EBS data. And finally, a successful EBS modernization requires disciplined execution across migration, architecture, and operations. So great information. I just wanted to go ahead and post this. There's a lot of great links here. I will post the PDF of this PowerPoint, and you will be able to access these links as well. And finally, if you have any questions for Mihir, please reach out to him at mihir.patel@appsassociates.com. So we did have a quick question. I know we're a little bit over time, but the quick question is, are there any limitations on Ask EBS and is it available for all modules?
Yeah, so no, it's again all modules native or standard. I'm going to say that's fine, but not custom, right? So if we've got customizations, that is custom that we're going to have to build, so it requires additional engineering. But I can unleash the power of it against the standard modules and capabilities with the patches that we talked about into it. There are some modules that we may not be able to tap into, but I don't have the full list off the top of my head. But for the most part, for standard, capabilities around financials, let's say it's there. Even supply chain stuff, we've used it against that. So I haven't seen any major limitation. Will it work with like property management and some off products? I haven't seen it used, so I can't say for sure. But for the most part, for the standard e-business suite modules, we haven't seen any issues with it working holistically, and I don't see any reason why it wouldn't.
All right, fantastic. Unfortunately, we are way over time, but as you watch this replay, and if you have more questions, please reach out to myself or Mihir on any questions you have. Thank you all very much for joining us for that 30-minute packed information. I hope you find it helpful, and we'll talk to you next month on Exadata and Exascale. Talk to you later. Thanks. Bye now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.